2022 is well and truly underway, Georgie boy.
It is.
And this is the newest episode of
Drama and Drama. Yeah, that's it.
Explosion.
Explosion. Yeah.
Yeah. How you doing, boy?
Yeah, good. You? Good.
All right.
Did you have a good New Year's?
Yeah, fine.
What did you do?
Played some games around Neil's house.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. What games?
Uno. I was doing well to the last round, but Neil's wife caned me with a couple of +4s at the end. And I lost that. And then I kicked everyone's ass at Mario Kart. So, justice.
Wait, which Mario Kart? The old one or the new one, which I'm not
The one on the old Switch.
Oh.
Which has like legacy courses and all that. Like Moo Moo Meadows and all that.
Yeah. Well, because I played
Shy Guy Beach. Shy Guy Beach.
Is that the one?
It's a beach
with the weird turtles. They weren't turtles, but
I don't know.
Yeah, you drive into them. Anyway, I used to play it on the Wii, and the Wii was the best.
Yes,
but
the Wii
I played it
best.
since on other consoles, and it's not. It's weird. There's too much going on.
The Switch controller is too small.
Yeah,
too small for my massive hands. But I won. I beat them all. So that's
Did you not
good.
have a plastic wheel?
Yeah, I was on the plastic wheel. Yeah, but that's quite tiny. That's still also quite small.
How? I mean, I always felt maybe it's because I was.
I'm going to say it's 12 centimeters. Hang on, I've got a tape measure here.
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Tape measure it from memory.
Yeah. Well, you've got eyes, haven't I?
Yeah.
And a memory.
That's yeah. Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
I was at work, which was, pretty dead, to be honest, which was surprising considering it's New Year's. But Omicron is ever present and no one's going out. So no one's at pubs and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everywhere's shut down, but not shut down,
Yeah. Apologies for being a little bit late, George.
That's okay.
I was a little bit late. I went on a walk to come to the studio, but I thought, I'll walk via the vape shop just to get a top up on some vape juice.
Makes sense.
Underestimated how far the vape shop was away.
Where is it? I thought it was
North End.
in Portsmouth.
There's one in North End, so I kind of have to walk away from the studio, but south, and then but still going a bit across east, which I need to go east. And then I had to go all the way up, but it was just a lot further down than I sort of recalled because I normally get there online. And I ended up walking 5 kilometers.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
You got your steps in.
Yeah. And my watch, Apple Watch, count my steps and all that. It's on my other wrist because I got some new tattoo.
Yeah, I haven't even seen it yet. Let's have a look. Rotate the arm.
So I'm just holding it up awkwardly. That's there for George.
Cool. For the listeners, this will be, this won't make sense, but
we'll put a picture on the gram. It's not finished. I was basically face down on a table for 5 hours yesterday.
And how was the tattoo?
Good. That's great stuff. That's really good. Really good. Yeah. And that's why people stick around.
This is it. That's why we've got listeners in Malaysia.
Yes.
And if you are the person listening, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyway,
do email in. So it's I'm a big fan, as you know, of Jurassic Park. And so it's a Jurassic Park themed tattoo. And what she did yesterday was the Jurassic Park gates, with a little explorer driving through, a bit of scenery in the background. And then we've got some outlines of some sort of prehistoric foliage that will eventually be.
It looks good. Is it finished? They look like a bit.
No.
Oh yeah, I was gonna. Yeah.
No, we've outlined the leaves, so I'm going back in February. But we concentrated on the gates, and then we've still got like the T-Rex logo and stuff to go at the top and all that. Yeah, so
that looks cool.
I've had tattoos before. I've got a big Batman one on my left arm.
Yeah.
Other ones. So actually, the pain was fine. It does hurt. But it was the last half an hour where I wanted to punch her in the face. Because it was very sore, especially down on the old wrist and up the inner arm by the elbow. Ooh.
Yeah.
nice and sore. So I've got it wrapped in cling film. Got to take care, and I'm sort of changing that every sort of 3 hours. Give it a little wash, warm soapy water.
Nice.
Rewrap it.
Tattoo aftercare is very important.
So important.
It's
so
you got
important.
you got to look after it. Never go out in the sun. You know.
No.
Or
thankfully,
if
it's
you do,
January, so
sun lotion up. Yeah, exactly. It is horrible weather at the moment. But yeah.
It's
I've got some news.
Oh, please, pray do tell.
Well, over the Christmas period, I thought I'm going to treat myself to stuff that isn't that exciting drum-wise, but is necessary nonetheless. So I've talked about my electric drum
me through
kit.
it.
Well, I've talked about my electric drum kit before, and I had the hi-hat of the electric drum kit is on a hi-hat stand. So I thought, right, and we spoke about this. I said, right, I want 2 hi-hat stands then, because I don't want to have to, if I've got a gig.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
You don't want to dismantle it. Yeah.
No, I don't want that. Same with the stool. So I went, right, new hi-hat stand, a new stool. Don't know if I mentioned my hi-hat stand before was a big dog hi-hat stand.
Yeah, I think I might have mentioned it and took the piss out of it.
Yeah, and it's okay.
Big dog. George is a big dog playing that hi-hat.
It's well worth taking the piss out of it because it is shit. Well, it's not shit. It just looks ridiculous. It's blue, you know, not to slag off them, the brand, but
you are.
It's blue. So I upgraded DW9000.
Oh, mama. He's gone for the D. Right. Okay. So I actually was fortunate enough to be there when you got your hi-hats. Yeah, very fortunate. Actually.
It was an honor.
Well, honor for you to have me there. And what I liked is now you have matching kick and hi-hat pedals.
Yeah.
And I know that I know you wanted that as well.
Well, I did, but I didn't know I wanted it until I was in the shop. Graham Russell, shout out Graham Russell. I was in there, and I was. The guy said to me, "What kick pedal do you have?" I said, "Oh, a DW9000." He went, "Oh, well, surely you want the same." And I went, "Oh yeah, I didn't even fit. I just went in there willy nilly. Can I get a hi-hat stand, please?" And got the 2-leg one because the 3-leg one was substantially heavier, which was mental. Like he gave me the box and went, "Whoa, look at that!"
Yeah.
And
well, if you lost a leg, you'd be a lot lighter.
This is true. Yeah. Could I play drums? Which leg? Let's get to that. No, let's get to it now. Let's talk about it now. If you were to lose a leg, which leg would you prefer to lose?
Left.
If you were still, obviously,
yeah. But then I wonder if maybe, I don't know, if I lost the leg under the knee on the right, could I then, is there some sort of get like Elon Musk or someone to like really create some sort of sick lower right leg that just really makes you be able to do super good kick drum?
Oh, what, like a mechanical
kind of like, there's just something about it that's just better than the common human ankle.
Yeah.
And you never get shin splints, and you can just,
I mean, like Oscar Pistorius.
Just knock before you go. Just see who's in the bathroom. Anyway, So you got your 2-legged DW9000 hi-hat stand.
Yeah, I got that, and it's great. It's just instantly, it just feels better. It just feels more solid. And I got a new stool.
Just going back to the hi-hat stand. Back. One thing, I'll bring this up. One thing, I had a little go on it.
Yeah.
It was so smooth.
Oh, it's so
the
smooth.
action was ridiculous. Lovely. It was chunky yet stylish.
Yep.
I had these like things, this little bag of stuff, and you're like, what's this for? And we think we worked out there's a plastic sort of clip that goes on that then holds the world's biggest drum key.
Yes. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
It was a weird bag of things because I set it up and I said the hi-hats are on. It's ready to. What is this bag of? It's like extra Lego.
Yeah.
And you go and I built it. What are these bits for?
Yeah.
But I think it is. Yeah.
I'm glad you went for the
love that
two-legged.
jumper, though.
I'm glad you went for the two-legs. My hi-hat stands two-legged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's nice. And it's just, it feels, now when I look at the pedals, they look great. Do you know what I mean? They look like, oh, yes, they're the same. So that was good. And then bought a new drum stool. Already forgotten what it is, but it was the nicest one in there. It was that thing of like, let's just buy I mean, obviously not the best drum stool there is.
Sake. Hang on. Yeah, hang on.
I know exactly who it is. To the listeners still with us, I don't know if we'll cut this out. I should explain. At the studio, we're right next to a car fitting auto parts. And people always seem to come to. I'm explaining to the listeners who it probably was. Was it someone for next door?
It was indeed, yeah.
Yeah.
They'd already worked it out by the time I'd got there.
Yeah, every day. Hi, mate. I'm here to fit a car part.
Oh, mate, just do a Costerius. No.
Yeah. No.
New.
Next door.
Yeah, and what I like is that it is really hard to tell the difference between the two businesses because the numbers outside are fucking massive. And two, we've both got really big signs above the door.
Yeah.
You know.
But people are idiots.
Yes, they are. Yeah. Stool, you're talking about your stool, not your poop, but your drum stool.
No, we'll get to that.
I'm sure your stool is medically sound.
Well, one would hope so. I get a lot of fiber. Anyway, drum stool wise, I went for just the nicest, best one. You know, I'm a big fan of just get the best because I thought the stool I had before, I'd used it for 10 years and it was great. You know, never broke, served me well, but it wasn't even that good.
Yeah, basically, as we've discussed previously, you just bought a load of stuff 10 years ago and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And some would say this podcast is making me buy new stuff. You know, maybe this is almost like therapy, and I'm realizing that all of my stuff is outdated, and I need to buy new things. But yeah, your stool's great.
Your stool is the key thing you wanted, and I know this about you. Tell what did you really need? What did you really want?
Swivel.
Yeah, swivel, baby.
That's all I need to say, and drummers will know what that means. I mean, it's not that hard to. It's not. I'm not talking in riddles here. It's swivel as opposed to loosen it and drop it down or bring it up. He's bringing it up. He's taking it down.
He's taking it down. And, he's sat on it. He's put on weight. It's constantly going down. Yeah, exactly. Not even a memory lock is stopping that.
Exactly. So now I've got a swivel. I'm very excited to use
swivel, baby. Yeah, and also I've got a swivel one, but my stool top is a flat circle. You know, it's a Mapex one. It's pretty classic Mapex. Your one has the arse dents.
Well, it does. But what was funny is I was going to get a circular one because I like the circular one, but the one of the same brand, of which I've forgotten already, it's like the Grand Canyon, this stool. The circular one, it wasn't just flat. It kind of dipped in. Yeah. And even the guy in the shop was like, mate, I'll be honest, this one feels weird. And I tried it out and it did. It was like, it was sunk. So I went for, the sort of, I don't know what the shape is. Triangle, but not triangle.
Yeah. It's kind of like bird's eyes and a beak.
Yeah,
I don't know. The front bit where your dick and balls is like a bike seat, isn't it? It's got that sort of snout, buttocks with a snout, buttock divots and a snout.
If you were to look down on it and think of it as letters, it would be like a D and a B. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
think of it like that. But anyway, I got one of them, and it's a swivel, and that's all I care about. And last thing I got while I was there is skins for a tom that I never used because with the new online teaching platform I've created, Drum Coach Online, I'll be creating lesson packs, drumcoachonline.com. The website is now live. So I've decided to make lesson packs and needed to use my old tom, my 10-inch tom, with my Tama Star Classic kit, which I've never, ever, ever used. And do you know what? It was after we set it up, because you obviously, tuned it and got it sounding
Drum
nice.
Doctor in the house.
Drum Doctor.
Yeah.
Need a website for that. If anything.
Just go on benwinty.com. That's a little bit there.
I thoroughly enjoyed having 3 toms, and part of me's tempted to, don't know, use it a bit more, because it was like, this is nice. Probably won't for gigs when it gets to it.
What I find weird is that your kit
is nice.
Yeah, I find weird that your kit was a 10, 12, and 16.
Yeah. It would normally be like 10, 12, 14.
Yeah, or 12, 13, 16.
Yeah.
But I love a little 10-inch. So I've got a little 10-inch tom, and it's always a little treat. Just
it is.
Like I don't know, like cream eggs, isn't it? They're great, but they're better because you don't have them all year round.
Yeah, exactly.
And occasionally, oh, come on now. And occasionally if I'm doing something in the studio and I can be bothered, I will set up my 10-inch and maybe even my 14-inch as well, and have 4 toms. And it's I love the sound of a 10-inch tom.
Yeah.
Boo, boo. It's just a little boo, boo. Do. Yeah.
Bam, bam, bam.
And you can do all the classics, EastEnders, and the Cadbury's advert.
Is that wow? Yeah.
And you can go. Yes,
I think even just doing a roll around the kit. That's fun,
Well, you learn with 2 toms up top, really, don't you?
Yeah.
That's what it was always at school, and then eventually you just bin off one of them, and you just go with that. And, exactly. Less stuff to set up, less stuff to carry, less cases to buy, less skins to buy. It's financially efficient. Yeah,
it's true.
And then you go, oh yeah, look, got another tom. Boo, 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 boo.
Yeah.
So you had that's a lovely sort of Christmas haul, isn't it?
It's a lovely Christmas haul.
You've upgraded, you've improved, you've enhanced. And I like that, because that's all we're ever trying to do.
It is. And it's that thing of what we've spoken about before, where it's like, it's a lot of it is just sustaining the drums, you know what I mean? I haven't got anything new technically. Like, it was before I had a hi-hat stand.
But I think you've made quite
a hi-hat stand.
Whereas you've not replaced something because it's necessarily broken. You've replaced something, and in my opinion, you've significantly upgraded.
Oh yeah, definitely. It makes the playing better. Then it's
you've gone to a very high-end hi-hat stand there, and a very comfy stool, and your stool was very comfy.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, and we'll get some pictures up on the gram. Let's take a little break.
Let's take a break.
Take a break, and then we'll be back very soon. In a bit. And we're back. Good. I on my walk earlier, I was thinking back to maybe what we were going to talk about on today's show, and I remembered something that was quite funny from school. There was a guy called Jay who was a couple of years above me at school, and he played the drums. He was very good. And I remember at a school concert, this was when I was in year 7, we had a music teacher. The music teacher at school was this really old little lady called Miss Henry, and she was a bit of a bitch. And in one of the wind band or whatever, a semblance of shitty school musicians we had, he played the drums, and we did this one song, and it had a drum solo at the end. And in the concert, he continued to play the drum solo and just didn't stop. He just kept going and going and going. And Miss Henry was getting so annoyed at him, like, and he just kept going and going. It must have been about 5 minutes, longer than the piece itself. And it was hilarious. And pretty sure she cried. But
what, the teacher?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. But there was a rumour. She was only there for 1 year when I was there. Then we got a new music teacher. And then there was a rumour going around that a few years before, so before I even joined school, a guy called Richard Biddle, that's his actual name, Richard Biddle, apparently Well, there was a rumour going around that Miss Henry had a wooden tit.
What does that even mean?
That she had one of her tits was wooden, was made of wood. And apparently this was discovered because Richard Biddle stood up in class and threw an eraser across the room, and it bounced off one of her tits and apparently made a thudding noise.
Amazing.
And then came the sort of wordplay kind of thing of, wouldn't it be funny if Miss Henry had a wouldn't it be funny if Miss Henry had a wouldn't it be funny if Miss Henry had a wouldn't it be funny if Miss Henry had a wouldn't it be funny if Miss Henry had a wouldn't it. So
phenomenal. I
yeah.
have so many questions already. Like, I mean, first, when in life would you have to have a wooden tit, and who makes it? Who makes a wooden tit?
Yeah.
God, I don't know. I'm just picturing like a perfectly varnished wooden tit.
Yeah. Well, we don't know.
On an old woman. Yeah.
She was old. She was at death's door. Yeah. Who knows?
And when she dies, if she, just everything will decompose and there'll just be a wooden tit.
Yeah.
Just left.
Or it was good kindling for the old burning.
Well, that's true. Yeah. When they give family the ashes, some of it's just wood. Yeah. It's already there.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. So I just was reminded of that story, and I thought it was
love
funny.
That. I didn't know where that was going. I thought it was going to be a school concert story, but we ended with that.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
And that's the name of the episode. Right there.
Wouldn't
it be funny if Miss Henry had a...
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Anyway.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Music, I say music teachers in general at schools are quite odd. I think isn't.
But I think they have it tough.
Yeah.
Because they've got 30 odd kids who do not give a fuck.
No one wants to be there.
They just don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Even the ones that do want to be there don't really want to be there,
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah. So trying to think of a way to segue from Miss Henry's wooden tit to what we wanted to talk about next.
Well, let's try. Tit, no.
Wouldn't it be great if you could learn this song for me, please?
That'll do. If you don't want to be we'll go with that.
Yeah.
There's no way to segue wooden tit to charts.
No, there isn't. Well, so we have to quite often, George, learn songs.
We do.
To play. And this can be anything from depping for a band to learning first dances, and learning songs for your own band and learning songs for studio recording. And I don't know about you, I have a fucking awful memory. So I struggle to ingrain songs into my head.
Yeah.
So I write charts.
You do.
Yeah.
And my God, are they good charts? Because I've stolen them all.
Yes, you have access to my Dropbox folder full of charts. Shall I talk you through it, George?
How you do them? Or
yeah,
definitely. Because I think this is genuinely an interesting thing to talk about.
So
charts and music.
I could read music and I can read drum notation. But what I learned quite early on in my life is I can't remember shit. So I just have to. I'd like to have some sort of aid to help me, and especially doing weddings and functions for 10 years, you got to do, can you do a gig on Saturday? Here's 30 songs.
Yeah.
Or, it's the first dance. There's 3 first dances this week. And you got to learn it, play it once. I don't want to spend the time getting that song ingrained into my head, listening to it over and over and get it wrong. Also, I don't want to fucking panic on the day when I got to play this shit. Usually it's unrehearsed. And we're just doing it on the day for the first time. Spoiler alert, your first dance, we've never fucking played it before. Get over it. It was great. Some of them are awful, but so I like to have just a little chart, and I was like, I just want these to be one page. I don't want to have to turn a page. That's tricky when you've got drumsticks in your hands. So I started being like, all right, what's the key thing I'm going to forget? It's the structure. That's usually where I go wrong. I don't know. Is this verse 2 or 3? I don't care. So key thing, and we'll put a picture of an example of one of my charts. Yeah. But I basically developed over the years my own shorthand for writing out a song in code that I can understand, and it fits on one page, and it gives me all the important info, but without being too much of a head fuck to read on the day. And what I'll tend to do is I will go, right, here's the song, I'll get it up on Spotify, and I'll press play, and I'll be like, and I don't tempo, whatever, but I will either be like, is it slow, medium, or fast? And I'll just write that at the top. So I got a ballpark figure, a ballpark guess. And then I will write, okay, intro. So I'll write down intro, and then I'll listen through, and I'll go, well, what are the drums doing? And B, how long is the intro? And let's say, so I'll go, oh, it's 8 bars long, and it's a hi-hat beat. Yeah. Now, usually I don't write out the kick and snare pattern, because I know the song enough to be like, well, that's the groove. I know the groove, and I'll react to what the other guys are doing, the bass line and things like that. I'll know the song enough. So if this kick and snare pattern's really specific and quite integral, I'll write 8 bars hi-hat beat, and then brackets, and then I'll just put the kick and snare pattern in. Yeah. So I know I've got to play 8 bars of hi-hat beat, and then maybe at the end, brackets, drum fill, things like that. So I just put the key things in, and I'll go through the song like that: verse, chorus, mid, late. How long is it? And roughly what have I got to do? And then I'll put little specifics in. And it means on the day, trust the chart, baby. I can just trust that chart. I know the song enough in my head that when I look at the key points on my chart, I can play the tune. Yep. And I've probably got near, I don't know, 400 or 500 of these charts now. Oh, yeah, definitely. And I used to be do them on an A4 bit of paper, and I used to have these folders that I'd take round. And then eventually I digitized the quick scan, Dropbox, PDF, Bosh, upload to Dropbox, Fourscore, pop it in, see you later, thank you, goodbye. Song learned, play it, next. And I've just got this big library of drum charts. And you are, I don't want to say privileged, but you have access to that. And
it has helped substantially. But I'll say, like, first of all, that's what was great about playing in your bands when I debt for it, was just I knew that you stick to the chart religiously, as does that everyone in your band. There's no like a function band. It can sometimes, we do this bit a bit longer, or we do it's like the song is whatever the track is, or you've changed it, but I'll follow the chart. So I remember the first time I did a gig with your band, Dept, and I was like a bit nervous, but I was also thinking, well, if I just follow these charts completely, then it will be fine. You know what I mean? And because it often happens, we've all had it where you play with a band and they go, oh yeah, we play it the same as the recording, and then it's just not, and suddenly that's when the chart suddenly go, well, there's no point in even looking at that, because this band, I've now got to follow, like, look at the bassist and go, where are we ending? What's going on? But yeah, I think my thing with charts was when I first started charting out songs, I do it really basic, because it was a lot of the time it was songs that I'd sort of feel like I learned it pretty much all. It was ingrained in my brain, but then the chart was almost just to help me out. So I wouldn't even really write anything beyond verse, chorus, verse, and then just say how many bars, and that would be it. But there'd be no indication of, like, what the beat was, how fast it was, if there was fills or anything, because I felt like I learned it enough. But then And it was fine when I was doing those gigs. But when I, did a gig with a band a year later and I'd forgotten the songs, and then I looked at my charts and they weren't, that detailed, then suddenly, and I remember here, I'll just say one thing. I heard someone say once, when you chart out songs, chart out like you're charting for someone else, not yourself. Like imagine if you have to write it out. And I was like, oh, okay. And then when I saw your charts, I was like, right, okay.
Yeah, well, I wanted to make sure my charts, I could come back to them and be like, cool, yeah, I can play the song again two years later, because the chart gives me all the information I need.
Yeah.
But doesn't take up fucking loads, doesn't take up 2 pages. It's not filled with, it just gives me those key points where it's like, yep, I can play the song and it will be,
definitely
90-95% authentic to the original. Some songs are fucking simple and some songs are a bit more complicated. But I just developed this, just doing Sharpie, just got this little method, and that's how I learned song. I think it's different now in your own band. I don't want to use charts in my original music.
No,
but that's different because you play it more regularly. Or you're as you're sort of writing the song, you're creating your own what you're doing, and then that just sinks in the brain. I think as I've got older, like where we don't rehearse regularly anymore, it's like, I have to remind myself. But I do try and learn those songs, not need charts for original.
Yeah,
stuff.
Definitely. I heard a podcast actually with the original bassist for the Arctic Monkeys, and he was saying when they did their first album,
he's mentioned them again.
I couldn't not mention them every episode. But they said, this was the days before like recording songs on your phone each rehearsal, and they said it's such a different thing now, that when they were doing that first album, they just would remember the songs as it always was, before everyone had a smartphone. And they said they turn up to rehearsal the next week, and if they'd remembered it, then they were like, right, that's good. And if they'd forgotten it and made something new, then they wouldn't be like, oh, how was I playing that? Because they'd be like, it's already gone. And I think this isn't necessarily to do with charts, but I think that is a thing now. I've played in bands, and you record a bit of a song, or you write half a song. You're like, right, let's make sure we record it so we know what it is. And then you come back to it the next week and you're going, right, that's how we were playing it, so let's carry on with that. And I don't know if that is the best way to do it, because I think if something's good, you'll remember it. But
it's important to remember, because one thing that annoys me is wasted time in rehearsals. And it's like if you can't remember what's happened before and you're taking a step backwards, it's very frustrating. And it's very easy now. Just stick your iPhone up, just record it, and then you will. It's so handy to come back to it. Because I remember, back in the day, the only time we ever heard our songs was when we played them. Unless we saved up some money and went and recorded an EP or an album, like rehearsals. And we didn't have the recording ability on our phones easily, so you would literally have to like kind of really, literally just use your memory. How did you find, like, when you first started using my charts, did they make sense? Because they really make sense to me. But
and I think the one that we should put on Instagram is the one for Shut Up and Dance, because that is like perfect in terms of, like, not to big you up massively, but in terms of it's like exactly in between being detailed enough that you know exactly where every fill is, but not too crazy that you're kind of going, this I can't read this and play. It's sort of like when I play that one, I'll sort of look at it for the hits and stuff. And like to say, if I'd have written that one out, I would have just gone chorus 8 bars. But the way you wrote it, it was like the hits were there, and then it would say like 6 bars or something, But I think what was funny about the way I've used charts is because before I used to pretty much just play in one function band, my one. So none of us used charts because we didn't even know about it. We just, because we had so much rehearsal time before we even started gigging, we all just knew the songs. And then, when I was, lucky enough to start playing in other bands, and I was like, oh, I've got to learn these. The interesting thing was I'd start using charts for every song. and sometimes I'd use them for songs that I knew, like
Yeah.
a song like Valerie. There's no way I'm ever forgetting that. But then I'd start looking at it and I'd be go, which bar am I on? And that was the only downside I found with charts, is it's like sometimes I'll look at it because it's there.
You
I
become
don't
reliant
need to.
on them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I know, someone, and he doesn't really write charts out. He's not a drummer, but he'll get that shit in his memory.
Yeah.
Which, is fine. I just don't like having that panic, because I do find myself in gigs going like, oh, shit, I can't remember what's coming next.
Yeah.
And I grew up with notation, playing trombone in brass bands and orchestras.
Yeah,
it's all on the fucking page, and I didn't really like doing jazz or improvisation or anything. So I was always had the charts in front of me. I just had to be able to play it and play it well enough, and I had to know how to play it, but I was quite good at sight reading and with the charts. Yeah, you're right. Like, I've got a chart for Valerie, which seems absolutely mental. But the reason I have the chart is because I'm so bored of playing it, because I played it over 450 times at gigs.
Yeah.
I'm so bored of it. I will literally daydream and just think about other shit. I'm thinking like, oh, what am I doing tomorrow? I'm playing someone's wedding. I'm like, oh, what am I doing this week? Oh, I must remember to get some light bulbs, or something like that. Yeah. And then I'll be like, because that song's repetitive, I'll be like, I've got no idea where I am now.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is verse 1, 2,
and it is that song,
or where are we in the chorus? Yeah. Same with Sex on Fire.
Yeah.
It's like, which chorus is this now?
Yeah,
because they're slightly different. So it's kind of like a safe, but like band, like one of my bands I've done, been doing it 9 years, and it's like a lot of those songs I really don't have to look at the chart.
No, of course.
I do know them because I've just done them. They're just ingrained in my fucking skull.
Yeah.
But I will have the chart there just in case. I tell you what, I did do one of my other bands, pop punk band. We do the Newfound Glory version of Kiss Me. And I put my set list in order, the week before. And that band's quite new, so it's not really ingrained in the brain, and these arrangements are quite a bit more trickier than sort of standard function stuff. And I'd put the chart for the original version of Kiss Me in my set list. We started the song, it's the guitar I started, and I looked at my chart and it didn't match up with what I thought I should be doing in my head.
Yeah.
And then I sort of didn't come in with what I normally did. And Neil looked at me and I was like, I don't know what's going on here. And then mid-song I was like, oh shit, this is not the Newfound Glory version. And I was like, I can't change the chart. I've got to play.
Yeah.
And I just had to I had to just rely on my brain for that one, which was a little bit more work than I want to bother doing at a gig.
But
I got
going
through
back
it.
to that, but
I think I got through it because I'd written out the chart, and I find writing out the chart helps ingrain it in the brain, because I could actually visualize the chart itself and be like, oh, I'm used to looking at that. I know what's going on in here. I took a punt. It paid off that time, but who knows?
No, definitely. I'd say I heard Stuart Copeland talking about, he said there's musicians of the ear and musicians of the eye. He said, some people kind of learn by reading.
I'm a musician of the hands.
Well, I'd say you're like a good mix of both, because you've had all that, training and learning and, from actual notation, but then you've played in bands for many years. You've kind of got like a good mix of both. Whereas there's some people who will play in bands and they can't read any notation, so they're sort of
losers,
cretins,
scum, pure scum.
But it's good to have a good mix of both, because it's like anything. I think we should, have an episode where we talk about notation and drum notation, and whether, because famously it's like all sorts of things. There's loads of people that can't do it and have, amazing careers, but then it's, anyway, we'll get into that later. One more thing I was going to say about charts. Someone's popular.
What's the new year? Huh?
We'll cut that.
That. Cut it, 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 cut it.
Oh, what was I going to say? Oh, one last thing about charts I was going to say. Because I'd never played in bands before that used charts, but then I played in your band where everyone uses charts, and it's just, the norm. I remember the first gig I think I did with them, and we had a first dance, and it was a wedding, and we didn't practice the first dance, and it was the first time I'd ever done a wedding and not gone through it with the band. Even if you sit down and go, guitarist gets a guitar and the singer sings and you kind of tap along. But I remember we were sort of waiting to do the gig, and Neil just said, "Does everyone know the first dance?" We went, "Yeah." And then that was it. And I remember being shocked by like the confidence and going, "Oh my God, everyone just knows it."
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. When you do the first dance, it's you're not doing art. You just fucking do the job. But and if you've all learned the same song, there's no reason why.
No, exactly.
And it seems, play it,
Yeah, and it seems so simple all of a sudden. And we all, sat down and played it. We didn't sit. I sat down. Everyone stood up, and we played it all the way through, and it was spot on. And it ended, and I went, "Oh, why isn't it always that easy?" With other bands, rather than. You turn up. Oh, well, I haven't looked at the first. It was our first start. None of that. It was everyone know it. Yep. Okay. Cool. Yeah. See you at 7.
I'm off for a shit.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah.
Well, we'll put some examples of the charts. Maybe a simple, a mid, and then one of the more complicated ones.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah, because I had to learn "Down with the Sickness" by Disturbed, and that chart had a little bit more involved than
I could
Valerie.
Yeah, definitely. I could maybe find one of my old ones that shows how simple they really were.
And then people can see what my weird sort of drum code is and have a listen to the song and see if it makes sense.
Exactly.
Well, let's wrap it up there,
knowing
boy.
It does.
Huh? Oh yeah, it does.
He says, fully knowing it does.
To the letter of the law. Well, this has been episode 7, Drum and Drummer, with me, Ben Winty, and you,
George Pickering.
Georgiophilos. Follow us on Instagram. What is it?
At Drum and Drummer. Why do I forget? No, it's not that.
No. Try again.
Drum and Drummer podcast. Is it that?
No. Yes.
I'm on my time limit of Instagram. I've had to stop myself because I'm on it all the time. At Drum and Drummer podcast.
This is outrageous. Yes, at Drum and Drummer podcast on Instagram. Email us in. Any of your teachers have wooden breasts? Email us in at drumanddrummerpod@gmail.com. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Drumcoachonline.com. See you later. Bye.
Bye.